Great fucking things, everyone. Just wanted to make a video today and kind of rant on a few things that's been on my mind. First of all, yesterday I went out. I went to the grocery store and the bookstore and a few places, and I want to talk about traffic lights for a second, because our town has some fucked up traffic lights. They used to be pretty decent. Now they're getting kind of weird. Our town has one of 3 in the world, I think, traffic pattern that's like a double diamond. It lets you go. You cross. You're in the right lane. And you cross over into the left lane for a second, and then you merge off into the interstate or whatever, and you merge back over into the right lane. And that confuses a lot of people, but that is perfectly fine with me. I like that. That's really efficient, and it's a good thing. What I don't like is the left turn lights. Like you got your red and green lights, and then on the far left lane you got the green arrow, which some do it differently. Sometimes it's like you only get the green arrow when the other lights are red and nobody can go, which means you automatically get to go because you're turning left, and it's giving you your turn to turn left, right? The one light I use a lot used to do that, but then they changed it. Now they do this thing where these lanes stay green, which when these lanes are green, the opposite lane is green too. So you don't get your turn. You get a yellow flashing left light, which is like you gotta wait until it's safe for you to go. Like if it's rush hour, like when everybody's going downtown, the cars just pretty much come constantly, and you never really get a turn unless the red light down the road catches people and you get a little interstitial spot where you can maybe turn. So they ruined that. They now have a flashing yellow green light, or a flashing yellow left light, which may not even work at all ever, which somehow it actually works for me because I actually get through. I usually have to wait. Like, if you know you're turning left, what you need to do is just pull up so that you're in traffic, so that way you have to go if by the time the light turns red, so you're automatically running a red light, but you have to go because you're in the fucking way. And then what that did is it got my mind all screwed up, because there's this other light I went to yesterday that doesn't have just the green light or the flashing yellow light. It has the greens over here, and it has a green turning left. So what does that fucking mean? If the greens are over here, that means the opposite traffic is coming, which you can't just go because they're going to smack into you. So I'm sitting there waiting until, because I see some cars coming over the hill pretty fast, and then the guy behind me starts honking at me, prodding me into traffic. Like, I guess left light means you can go automatically? So then I go automatically. I don't know, I might have been driving to my death for all I know. Maybe this guy doesn't know how the lights work about the opposite lanes. Maybe he's prodding me into fucking traffic. So that was really confusing and weird. 3 different ways to do fucking left turn lights in the same town, mind you. So then I went to Dairy Queen, and I had to wait in line, and it took forever, and I just left because I wasn't hungry anyway. I don't know why I went there, because I'm never up during the day to actually eat out anywhere, so I thought I'd eat out even though I wasn't really hungry, but I never actually did. But then I went to the grocery store, and I got some foods. I got some ice cream sandwiches, just for the purpose of the story, because it's frozen foods. Yet again, I'm waiting in line at the grocery store, and there's like 2 people in front of me, don't have a lot of stuff. I figure this is going to be pretty quick. And the first woman is using coupons or something, or sales papers or whatever she's doing, and it's taking a long time. And it's pretty much just like the checkout lady is standing there, and the woman's standing there, and nobody's doing fuck all. So I'm like, well, this is weird. And I get up my phone, I start checking my Facebook, my emails and stuff, and my grocery list. And then the woman in front apologizes. She's like, to the next lady in line, like, I'm sorry for holding up the line and all this. And I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to check my phone and deal with this later. So then I think, okay, that's finally over. The next woman goes. She only has like a few things. But then she whips out her fucking sales paper. Not even coupons. I don't know what the deal is with the sales paper, if they have some kind of thing where, like, if you find a better price somewhere, they'll match it. And then this woman at the checkout counter gets the sales paper, and she has to flip through it and read the fucking paper. And she has to hit a button and call somebody and wait on some other person to come up to the counter. And then she tells them what the deal is, and then that woman has to go to the place in the store where the thing is she's looking up and check the prices on it. And then I don't know if that's what the deal was or not, but she brought back 2 bags of Tostitos chips to this woman and let her choose which brand she wanted. This is ridiculous. I'm sitting here for, like, I don't know, a crazy amount of time while my ice cream sandwiches are melting with this fucking sales paper, and I'm thinking, why can't I just pay for this woman to get the fuck out of here and let me just drop down 50 cents or something and just say, here, there's the money you would save to get the fuck out of my way so my ice cream doesn't melt. I don't get it. Well, what's the deal with that? Or a better idea would be if you had like a cunt tax. Like, this woman's being a cunt, it's going to charge her $5 for being a cunt. And if she has enough coupons to make it for $5, it's worth being a cunt. But if not, then get the fuck out, because you're going to be losing money. You might save 50 cents, but you're going to be charged $5 for being a cunt, so it's not worth it. If it's not worth your time, never mind the embarrassment. Wouldn't you be embarrassed to be holding up a line that long when people go throughout the store and check on shit for you, and you're standing there waiting, and she turns to me and says, I'm sorry for this. And I'm like, sorry for what? What are we doing here? Nobody's doing anything. The cash register lady's standing there, you're standing there. I didn't say that, but I couldn't understand. What are we doing? We're just standing here. Nobody's doing shit. But that was ridiculous. And then, as I'm leaving the store in the parking lot, somebody cuts across the fucking lanes, where the parking spaces. People just drive through those fucking things because nobody gives a fuck. And that's another cunt-worthy thing that you should be charged a cunt tax for. Which really reminds me of this new movie coming out, was it God Bless America or something? I posted it on my Facebook. If you haven't seen this fucking movie trailer, definitely see it. It's about this dude and this girl who decide that they're fed up with the way shit is and people don't give a shit about anything anymore, and they just go around and start killing people. It's like, oh, you cut me off in traffic, you double parked, fuck you, just blow their heads off and just start killing people at random. Not at random. They only kill people that deserve it, because they're just tired of people being bitches. I think they kill, like, Khloe Kardashian and the people from TV that are fucked up. These stupid reality show people. That's going to be a great movie. I'm really going to love it when it comes out. But another thing that pisses me off, which this is really weird. I don't know if you guys have, well, I guess you probably haven't seen this before, but you probably have cable TV. A lot of you probably have cable TV, and you pay for it monthly. I don't. Pretty much as long as I've lived here, I don't think I've never paid for cable TV since I've lived here. I used to have cable internet, and they kept shutting me off, so I disconnected it. So the cable company doesn't understand this. They can't fathom it. They're like, what? You don't have cable? You gotta have power. You gotta have your lights on, you gotta have water and food, and you gotta have cable, because that's like one of the essential utilities, right? Cable TV. You gotta have TV. No, you don't. You don't fucking have to have it. Never mind if you torrent things, which I'm not saying that I do that, but if you were to watch, like, websites, like Showtime has a website, or HBO Go, they have this thing, and I've watched the Colony Experiment on there online, and you've got, like, I watched the new Spartacus TV show on Starz website the other day, and you've got pretty much Hulu and everything on YouTube, and there's plenty of ways to watch cable TV without actually having cable TV. They have online internet options for watching cable TV if you so choose. So, I don't know why they can't understand people don't subscribe to it in their home for their TV, but here's what happens. I get all of this junk mail. I get all of these different kinds of mails, right, from the cable company. Here's one that says, 50% off. Here's like a door hanger version. There's like a regular envelope with their return address on it. So they don't put the name of their company on the thing, because they don't want you to know who it's from. They want you to actually open it up. Here's one that says time-sensitive material on it. Here's one in a yellow, like a Publishers Clearinghouse type envelope. It says enclosed, official notice, confidential, authentication enclosed, dated material, valid through whatever. Notification of price reduction, and it's from the Customer Notification Center, but the same address as the cable company. There's like a little card. Overpayment alert. Dear neighbor, it appears that certain residents in your zip code are being charged too much for internet, television, or home telephone service. Oh yeah, like, you're losing out because it's an overpayment. Here's just a regular advertising one. Here's another, like, mysterious one with no name. Here's another card. It's like a yellow envelope. Urgent notification. They always just try to slip shit into you because they think you're just throwing it away, because I am. Until I started collecting it. Here's like a big card. Here's another sneaky one. Here's like a big one. It's like a greeting card size. Make you think it's like a Christmas card or something, maybe. Oh, this one actually has the name of the company on it, though. So here's another yellow one. Here's one that's got this nice little cursive sort of writing. It looks like it might be from like a Christmas card company or somebody you know. Just all this kind of mail, right, that they send me. So I thought that's bad enough that they send me this stupid spam in real snail mail every week. So I started saving it up, right? And this guy comes to my door the other day. Actual guy from the cable company that I guess they keep track of every apartment building here and every house along the roads and everybody. If you don't have cable for a certain amount of time, like a couple of years, they're like, well, something's got to be wrong because nobody doesn't have cable for that amount of time. So they send this guy to my house with a clipboard, and he's asking me, like, do I have cable or do I plan to get cable reinstalled or hooked up? And I'm like, no, hang on just a second. I go and I grab all this fucking mail and I throw it in his face. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Now you're sending people to my house? And he's like, well, I don't have anything to do with that mail. And I'm like, well, still, it's retarded. And he, like, leaves and he's all, like, upset. It was pretty fucked up. He's also circling my name when I said whatever I didn't have cable. He's like, oh, just write this down. Like, he's keeping track. They're keeping track of every house that doesn't have cable because that's like 30, 40, 50 bucks a month that they're losing for every house. And like every time they get somebody to sign up again. Just retarded. They're coming and harassing me now because I don't have their fucking service. Like, I don't have to have power here if I don't want. I can just rent the apartment and not have the lights turned on. Deal with that, utilities company. I'd have to start a fire in the house. I don't think that's illegal, but I'd keep warm somehow. Anyway, me and Storm were talking last year about if we were president, what we would do. And we were talking about saving trees and, like, I would outlaw telephone books. Or I wouldn't outlaw them. I would still have people make telephone books. But instead of everybody getting a telephone book, like we get these big, thick telephone books like that thick, and they bring them to your house probably once or twice a year. They just put them on everybody's doorstep, and if you don't want them, you just throw them right in the trash. So it's just a waste of paper if you don't want a new telephone book because, like, I don't even know anybody in this town. Why would I need a telephone book? But even then, you got the internet. You can look up people's phone numbers on the internet. You don't need a huge-ass telephone book, except for maybe the Yellow Pages if you want to look up some restaurant or something. So much paper just being wasted. You could save trees by taking all the telephone books to, like, a post office near you. And then if you want a telephone book, you go to the post office and pick one up because that's how you do it. Instead of automatically giving them to everybody, just give them to people who want them, because you'd have to go pick it up yourself. That would save so much paper, and then outlaw this kind of shit, so you can't just send people goddamn advertisements in their mail, and then that will save a lot more paper. And there should also be a rule about soliciting and going to people's houses and taking shit and just putting it on their doorknobs or posting shit or slipping stuff under the door, little flyers and crap. I know you gotta advertise, but it's getting out of hand. Another thing that's bullshit is I just watched that movie, How to Rob a Bank. Yeah, How to Rob a Bank, right. It's got Gavin Rossdale from Bush in it and some other dude. But also in Office Space, Superman 3, they do this trick where they take fractions of a penny out, you know, of like whenever there's a bank transaction and they put it into an account and then they get millions of dollars and they withdraw it later. But in this movie, it was actually the bank, because if you have money in the bank, if you want to get your money out, like an ATM, they charge you like $1, $2 fee. And if you think about the Superman 3 thing is fractions of a penny, and you get like millions of dollars, right? Over all these bank transactions all over the world, because there's millions of transactions all the time, every day. Now if you think about that in terms of $1 or $2 increments times millions a day, that's millions and millions of dollars every day. That's crazy amounts of money that the bank is just sucking out of the system, out of your hard-earned money, just taking your shit from you. And because it's such a small amount, and people are leaving the convenience of getting their money at a certain time, that they don't really care. They overlook it, and the banks must be fucking rolling in money. So if I was president, I would probably go to war with the banks, and I would get the fucking money back. I would get all that bailout money back. I would get these fucking fees back. And if the banks didn't like it, I'm the president, I'm the commander of the armed forces, I would hold them up with fucking tanks. That would be like the most warmongering president ever, with probably 0 fatalities, because I would just, like, attack our own country as far as the banks go and, like, corrupt shit. And I would use the army and the military in ways that nobody's ever used them before. For example, we have this $14 trillion debt with China. You know how I would fix this problem? I would go to war with China. And not the way you think. No. I would not go to war with China and just, like, conquer their country and erase the debt that way. No! I would meet with the premier of China and I'd be like, look, here's the deal. I'm the president and I'm the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and I want to pay this debt off, but I can't do it because I only have the power to do that, and I can sign some bills, but nobody's ever going to pass any bills in Congress because Congress is fucked up and they're worthless. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a war with you, and you're going to agree with this war, and I'm going to take my aircraft carriers, which are worth like $10 billion for us to make, but I'm going to charge you $100 billion for aircraft carrier, and I'm just going to park them in your space over here, like in your what do you call that? Your not your airspace, but your water space. I'm gonna take it to your oceans. I'm gonna leave them there. We're gonna disembark. Everybody's gonna bail out, and we're gonna like pick up our people. We're gonna leave them there, and you're gonna have them for your military at $100 billion each. And I'm just gonna give you our Nimitz class aircraft carriers because we got some new aircraft carriers we've been working on. We got I think 10 of the Nimitz right now, and then we got 10 of these new classes that we're making right now. They're gonna be even better. So we're going to just keep the new ones, and we're going to give you our old junk. Maybe there's some older ones beyond the Nimitz, I think, that were pretty decent still. A lot of them have been sunk just in testing, like missiles and nukes. But we've probably got a few of those left that are decent. Maybe we could sell them. Plus some planes and stuff that they don't have. Because the Chinese don't really have a good navy. Plus they're not really trained on how to use all these aircraft carrier systems and stuff. They'd have to probably take them 10, 20 years just to get up to speed on how to use them all. And then the planes, I don't know, but then we could sell all of our aircraft carriers for like $100 billion each times 10. That's like $1 trillion right there. And then the planes and whatever else, that would pay off quite a bit of debt, I think. Maybe we could run them up even more because they're pretty desperate for like naval vehicles. And then actually we could probably reduce the budget for the next several years by not building these extra aircraft carriers and just leaving them alone. And then you could save like another $2 trillion probably right there, because these are probably going to be more expensive. Actually, not that much because they didn't cost $100 billion to make. But anyway, you start a war with the country, you give them your shit, and then you leave them alone. Sounds legal. I know people throw a bitch fit and have me executed or like impeached or whatever, but that's the way you can pay off some of the debt. I would call it the Lannister rule, that you have to pay back your debts just to please Game of Thrones fans. A lot of people probably up in arms over this, being like, well, what do you mean, T2? You can't just give them our aircraft carriers. I mean, like, well, we're not going to be starting wars, so we don't need aircraft carriers, because I don't really see a reason to go to war with the country. Like, my problem for solving the 9/11 situation is you got some dickheads on airplanes with box cutters. You either put a guy on the planes with a gun, which we have air marshals now, or you put, like, some kind of impenetrable bulletproof barrier between the cockpit and the rest of the plane. That way, if somebody's got a fucking knife, who gives a shit? If they got a gun, who gives a shit? Plane's not going to crash, and they're not going to take over the pilots. So, fuck it. I don't care whatever you bring on a plane. Unless it's a bomb, you're just going to blow up the plane. You're not going to drive it into a building. So, problem solved. You don't have to go to war with another country because some dickheads on a plane had a fucking knife. A little overkill, if you ask me. And if anybody says soldiers are fighting to protect our freedoms, tell me what freedom they're protecting, because I have not seen any, well, the freedoms that we've purposely gotten rid of, and these stupid laws like this new one they just passed, which declares America a war zone, and you can hold American citizens indefinitely as prisoners of war, and the previous Patriot Act, which was so bullshit, rolled back a lot of our civil rights. Those are the only freedoms we've lost because of the war, and that's not because of any other country or Al-Qaeda. That's because of our own government. So I am totally against supporting the troops, especially don't want to bring the troops back. At first I was like, yes, we need to bring those troops back, but now I'm like, fuck those troops, leave those troops over there, because they're fucking psychopaths by now. If you bring these troops back, they're going to want jobs. There's not going to be jobs because there's no jobs now. They're going to be pissed, and they're trained with military tactics and weapons. They're going to fucking kill a bunch of people. Leave those troops over there indefinitely, as far as I'm concerned. Fuck bringing home troops. That would be really retarded to bring home troops now. It's too late. You leave somebody in a country for like 12 years, they're pretty much worthless as normal human beings now. They're fucked up. I'm sure there's probably a lot of them that would say, no, I'm not fucked up. You can bring me back. I'll be just fine. But how will we know? How do you prove that? How do you bring back really trained psycho killers to your country and just hope that they don't fuck shit up? Here's a job I would have for these guys, though. If you did bring some troops back, these protesters like at Occupy Wall Street and whatever that are getting pepper sprayed all the time, I would have the troops join in as snipers. And they would be like people that snipe the police when the police get out of hand, because the deal is you go there to peacefully protest the war, or Occupy Wall Street, wherever you're protesting, and you're there to peacefully protest. But you don't have to protest peacefully. If shit gets out of hand and the police start knocking heads, then you got snipers just in case. And the snipers take out the corrupt police that are not letting you protest, which is constitutionally valid and legal. So, just a backup plan in case your peaceful protest goes wrong. You've got non-peaceful protest waiting in the wings. I think that'd be a good job for military snipers. But that's pretty much it. I've pretty much gone too long. I don't know how long this video is, but that's all I gotta say for now.